Hi, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm here. As you can see, I have these carved trees in front of me. We are going to make something really cool. I got this idea from someone else that's way more creative than I am, and I'm going to try and recreate it. So hopefully I'll be successful tonight, and you guys will love this. And if not, then we can try again with something else. I don't know what we'll do, but you can comment the word tree right here on this post, and we are going to get started here in just a second. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Lisa. Did you get the message? I think you might have. I'm pretty sure I fixed it because I got the message. So I'm hoping. Okay, this is bark paste and this is camel paste, okay? I'm going to pull a little bit of this camel out of this jar onto a color tray over here. Let me see if I can do it. Awesome. Good. Hopefully it keeps sending. I think I figured out the issue, hopefully. I don't know what was going on with my notifications. Hi, Tina. How are you? Welcome. Hey, Denise. Thank you for sharing, Kathy. I appreciate you. All right, so I'm just going to paint these with... Oh, I need more water. Okay, so I added a little bit of water, not quite enough. This bark paste is a little bit old. So I'm having to add probably a little more water than I would normally. It's not dry or anything. It's just a little bit clumpier than it normally is. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Welcome. All right, so we're just going to paint these trees. Now, I did bring a piece of my cardboard out here with the tape so that I can set it once I start going around. But I kind of want to go for a bit of a wood grain. The person I stole this from called this like a walnut color. What I'm going to go for here. So we're going to try that and see how it works. So I may need more paste than this, but we'll see. All right. And I'm kind of going in thick. I'm not doing even paint on there. I'm just kind of letting it happen. Okay. Pretty much I want this to be like a wood grain, so it doesn't have to be completely perfect or smooth or anything like that. But I want to cover the entire tree. Again, you can comment the word tree, and don't forget, everything on my website is 10% off right now. So you will get a sale price on these items that I'm using here. And you'll get the link so that you can click on it, get the sale price, and you can add or remove anything from that cart that you like. I'm trying my best not to knock this thing over. But I might have to come back and touch it up whenever I can touch it physically with my hand on the other side. Okay, so I've got it covered now, I think. Now, on to the others. So, again, just going in kind of a little wild here. That's a little bit thick of paste. Hi, Margie. How are you, love? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I hope you love these trees. I saw the picture a little bit ago. I was going to do a different project tonight, and then I realized it's not in stock on the website anymore, and I didn't want to show you all something that you can't get. So, had to switch it up, and I thought, ooh, you know what? I saw this project a couple of weeks ago, and it was phenomenal. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Welcome. All right. So, just trying to cover these as well as I can. I think we'll probably do another coat on the back at least, okay? On this side that I can't really touch it or hold on to it while I'm painting it so my paint isn't going on as thick. I'm trying, though, to get a good layer on here so that when I do come back in a minute, it'll be easier. You know what I really need is a, what is it called? A Lazy Susan? I need one for my craft room. I've decided. I've seen other people have one that they use to paint on, and what a great idea. That's what I need. Instead of turning my stuff, I'll just turn my Lazy Susan. I'm so happy to see you here, Margie. Thanks for joining me. All right, now we're going to do the bases too. And so these are like solid, okay? I wasn't really 100% on what to expect whenever I ordered these, whenever they first came out. But boy, was I pleasantly surprised at the quality, okay? I didn't know if these were going to be wood all the way through. You know what? Maybe, but unfortunately, oh, you know what? Look. I have a paintbrush. I don't have a pencil in here, but, oh, it's only little, but it's only a short, but you know what? I could use, y'all, why are you always so much smarter than I am? That's what I want to know. My viewers are always 10 steps ahead of me. Thanks, Margie. That's what I'll do here in just a minute. I'm going to paint these. So, yeah, stick them on the little holders to paint them, and that it'll be nice and sturdy, too, to hold it, because it's kind of a snug fit. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect whenever I first ordered these. Because you just never know. It's hard to tell online what the quality is. But, I mean, look at that base. It is nice. It's good wood. It's nice, thick. And they're painted white. So you really don't have to paint them either. Okay? You could totally chalk right on them. Or you could leave them white even. I mean, these are gorgeous. A really nice matte finish. I don't think there's any need to even like wax or anything on them. Let's see if I can turn this. Great idea, Margie. Seriously, you are the winner tonight of the how am I going to craft this? Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Welcome. All right. Okay, so I think I'm good there. Now, we're going to try Margie's idea. Thank God for her. And all my other extremely smart craft friends out there. Y'all are amazing with your suggestions. Hi, Brownie. How are you? I'm just getting a little more paste here out of my jar. This jar is so almost gone. I've been trying to use what's left in it for a hot minute now. Let's see if I'm going to need... I need some water. It seems like it's going to spread really nicely because it's a good consistency, but it's just a little thicker than what you thought. But you don't want to add too much water because then you're going to have a real thin color. Unless if that's what you're going for, then great. Okay? I did want these to be darker, though. I have a lot of wood tones in my house. And I thought this would be a really neat little centerpiece for Christmas. Or what a fabulous gift this would make. Okay, that worked out awesome. But now what am I going to do? That's the question. Let's see if I can stick it in here without messing that up too. Okay. And then I have I think this is the medium-sized dowel. It's basically dry. Let me pick that up and stick this in there so that I can just touch this up a little bit. Get it nice and covered. And the great thing about this paste is, using paste like this, is that it is a little bit thicker. So I can kind of make it like, see how there's like, it almost looks like knots, which is working out just to my delight. Okay. Absolute perfection here. Oh God. I'm going to dry this base because I should have dried the other one a minute ago before I set that one in it, but, you know. At least dry it a little bit so that I don't make a mess of myself. Now, I do want to paint those little dowels here. I'm going to spill this. It is going to spill, probably. I'm going to dry this one too before I go to pick it up. Hey, Stephanie, how are you, love? So I sure do love seeing new people. And since my last live sale, I've had quite a few newbies. So if you don't know about Chalk Couture, let me just tell you. So we are a brand of network marketing crafters, and Chalk Couture makes silkscreen transfer stencils. Okay, the stencils are different than just regular stencils with a hole in them. They actually have silkscreen, which is reusable. You can clean it with just plain water and what we call a board eraser, which is basically a magic eraser, but it doesn't have any chemicals. And whenever they get wet, they don't get like yucky. Have y'all ever used a magic eraser and then you set it somewhere like alongside your kitchen sink, and then a couple hours later or the next day it's disgusting and it stinks and it's nasty? Our board erasers do not do that. I use my board erasers all the way till they crumble and they're gone. And I let mine dry. I set them out like on my dish mat after I wash my transfers with my transfers that are drying. And then the next day I just take it and I stick it. I have a drawer in my kitchen that I stick them in. And I've never had an issue like that. I even travel for work sometimes, and I will stick it back in. I'll usually take a plastic baggie with me. Look how good that looks. Hi, Donna. How are ya? Welcome. I'll usually take a plastic baggie and I'll stick it in that baggie, at least so it just doesn't get water all over the place. In my bag, you know. I've never had a problem with them mildewing or molding or anything. And those magic erasers get so yucky. Seriously, they are disgusting. Hi, Dorothy. How are you? Welcome. So happy to have you here. So, by the way, I am having another live sale this weekend. I've got more retired transfers. I know, I have a lot of inventory. But I have a bunch of stuff I want to show y'all. So come hang out with me on Friday night at 7:30 Central. Okay, and we will be having a live sale. All the stuff comes directly from me, so you don't have to wait on shipping. And it's mostly retired stuff. I have very little current designs, so that's always fun. It's stuff that you can't buy on the website. And I have all the holidays, all the seasonal stuff, all the everyday stuff. So make sure that you join me. And if you haven't yet signed up for notifications, or if you're not getting my notifications, you can comment the word tree. And you can click the link to get live notices and then click on get messages, and you should be signed up to get notifications whenever I go live. Okay? Alright, I just want to make sure these are really good and dry because I want to paint the dowels and the underside of the tree, and I don't want to do that while they're all wet. Okay. The paste dries really fast too. It's a little bit faster drying than just like regular acrylic. I'm going to move this because I don't think it's necessary anymore. That way it'll free up some space for me. And I love painting with our paste because it paints really nicely. And I have a lot of colors in paste. And why not, right? It's good paint. Just add a little bit of water to it. As you saw, I just added water to mine. And it becomes a paint consistency. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I did that. That's okay. Luckily I have about 5 million brushes over here. Thank God for Amazon. Alright. That looks so pretty. I love it already. And we are going to add a little bit of camel. So this is camel. So I just wanted to add a little bit of depth there with some camel. But before we do that, I'm going to see if I can't get these dowels painted. So again, I'll probably have to do 2 coats on this. Plus, I want to do the underside of the tree so that it's not white. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect either, but I just want to, you know, it makes it feel more finished. I saw something the other day too that I thought was an interesting idea. This lady, so y'all know I use wood cutouts a lot in my crafts because I have a laser. And so I use a lot of wood cutouts, and this woman said that she takes scrapbook paper and she covers the back, the unfinished side of her wood cutout projects. And I love that idea, so I want to try and start doing that, especially because I have a lot of fun scrapbook paper, and it doesn't have to be like matching whatever the project is. It can be a fun design or just a plain, she was using like a buffalo plaid. I think that's fun. And all you gotta do is just decoupage it on the back. So why not, right? And it covers up any of the ugly stuff that is on the back. Okay, so, oops. That's my underside of my tree. And my little dowel is now painted. Alright. Super quick and easy job here. I'm not doing anything real fancy on the bottoms of these. Just to kind of, if you see it from a weird angle, you know, I don't know that you'd ever be under it. But in the case that you are, then you won't see that it's not finished on the bottom. Okay, so what I think I want to do is I'm going to find another brush, a decent sized one. So I have this one right here. And what I'm thinking, I really haven't thought this all the way through. Okay, I like to preface things with that because I've sort of thought about it for about, I don't know, 30 minutes before I came on here. But not much more than that, okay? So bear with me, but again, I want this to be kind of a wood grain type pattern. And I certainly don't want to cover up the bark, okay? And I'm not going to be able to cover it with this color. But I would like to add just a little bit of depth to the paint job that I already have here going on, okay, by just going around, and I did mix in a little bit of water. I do want this to be a good painting consistency to where it's not super thick. But it just I think it's going to add a little bit of something, okay? And, well, I guess I can hold it on the base. That's fine. I'll hold it on the base. All right. Thinking I need to dry the whole thing, but I don't actually. Okay. And, I mean, you could even go in and add a little bit of black accents here on this tree to give the effect of kind of more of the like knots and stuff, okay? Or you could even add some black to your bark paste and give it just a darker tint, okay? You can mix paste and make your own color. I know quite a few designers that will take an old jar, like an empty jar, and they save their empty jars simply to make their own paste colors. Can you imagine? Just taking like, I don't know, a quarter of a jar of a purple color and adding black to it, or a yellow color and adding some red, and making your own orange shade or whatever color you can possibly think of. Making your own grays. Seriously, you can do so much. And it works the same because it's the same formula. Just mix it really well. And it stores the same in the paste jar that it literally came in, right? Except you're just making your own. So if there's a particular color that you're looking for and you're not finding it, and you wanted, like the other day, I had a lady reach out to me and say that she wanted a darker brown. And that was my suggestion. You could always add black to make yourself a little bit of a darker shade of brown if you wanted it. And it wouldn't have to be the whole jar either. You could just take it out on a color tray and mix it on a color tray. Okay, so there's my large tree. So this comes with three trees in 3 sizes. The set does. And I'm telling y'all, I was so surprised when I got this, because I picked up the box like, what is that? You know, I get a huge box of a bunch of stuff and I don't know what's in it. Usually it's like Christmas Day whenever I get my chalk orders in. I'm like, oh, what is that? Looking through it, and I pick up this box and it's heavy. And I'm going, what? And I look and I'm like, oh, the trees. I don't know how I expected it to be packaged, okay? It's funny because sometimes I'm surprised by things like that. And I'm like, well, how else did I expect it to come? I mean, delivered by like a bird or something, you know, carried in a sack like a baby from a stork or what? I don't know what I was thinking, but okay, so there's all 3 of my little trees. I'm going to get rid of this so that it's out of my way and I'm not making a mess with it. Hopefully. Stick that in there. I don't think I got any of that paste on my shirt. I thought maybe I had dragged my hand through it, but I think I might be safe. All right, so now I want to make sure these are good and dry. Okay, so this is the artistic part, okay, that I'm a little bit afraid of. But we're going to do this together, okay? So either this is going to be successful and we'll all be successful together, or it's going to fail and I'll be a failure. And you guys don't have to take the blame for that either, okay? Hi, Marie. How are you, my friends? Thank you for joining me. All right, so I do want to make sure that these are entirely dry. I do not want any wet stuff on here, okay? And I'm not going to use a transfer on this. okay, at all. I want to leave it just the way it is. And I think that's pretty dry. I do have a transfer out that we are going to use, but not on the trees, okay? But you can chalk right onto these, okay? There's many examples of things that people have done, and of course on the website they've got the photos that they took, the photo shoot ones, whenever they made the catalog, but I think this will be better than any of that. I just want to make sure that I'm getting this as dry as possible. Hey, Joni, how are you? And you can kind of see the reflection in the light, whether or not your paste is dry. You can kind of watch it dry as the air hits it. Okay, so yeah, I think we're good. All right, isn't that pretty? It looks like wood grain, right? These started out white. Okay. Really excited about this. This needs a little bit more, just to be sure. Okay, and then here's what we're going to do. So those are my trees. This is a small little pennant banner, okay, from my shop. And this is Warm Winter Wishes is what this transfer is called. This is intended for like a tier tray for Christmas. But there's this part of the transfer right here that says Warm Winter Wishes. And I want to use that right here. Hi, Barbara. How are you, love? Well, I hope y'all had a good conversation. And you haven't missed much. We've painted these carved trees. Okay, I don't know if you've seen those or not, but they're so pretty. And I am going to cut this transfer. I was thinking I wouldn't have to, but I'm going to anyway. So I'm just going to take it. I'm going to peel it up right here a little bit. And I'm going to cut along this line here. And again, along that one and this last one. No problem. I'm sorry I missed your call. Hi, Sandy. How are you? You're not that late, love. We've just been painting. You would have been here watching paint dry with everyone else, so no biggie. We're getting to the good stuff now, so you're just in time, actually. Okay, so I cut that out. I left my backer sheet good, okay? I'm not going to fuzz this because this is fabric, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just putting that down right on my little pennant banner, okay? And I'm finding me a mini squeegee here. I am going to use this bark paste and what's left of it. It's literally, I used my multi-tool earlier to scrape around the edges so I could try to use as much as possible of this paste because it's about gone. Okay, there we go. And just get that into the silk screen. And again, this is paste. We're not using ink here. This is not going to be washed. So I think we're safe to use paste on it, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you're not going to wash something, you've got a little bit more choices with paste colors than ink. Now, we do have a bark ink, but there's no need to heat set whenever you use paste, okay, on fabric. So then, I'm going to dry this. Hi, Laura. How are you? Oh, no. Well, send me a message and I'll help you. Yay! Yes, I'm excited about that one. That one was a good one, Barbara. I think that was the one for my live sale. It always amazes me how fast stuff ships. I think I shipped that, I don't know, earlier this week, I want to say. I feel like it went out like on Monday or Tuesday. It's pretty incredible. Okay, so there we go. Now, we've got this all dry, okay? And hopefully, I don't know how sharp these scissors are, but I'm going to just trim this out of here. Now, I think I have another pennant somewhere around here, probably, that I didn't use, or I didn't use all of it the last time I did this. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just trimming around this. And I'm trying to make it a nice rectangle. Okay? Now, I do want to kind of trim it a little bit more. But I want to fray the edges too. So, I'm going to see if we can do that. Hi, Joanne. How are you? No, I haven't yet. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm sorry. Work has been absolutely insane. Yeah, I'll be cutting tomorrow. I try to like take my lunch and like right after work a lot of the time to do cutouts and to pack orders, and I have not been being successful at that lately because my job has taken over my life, which I find to be unacceptable, honestly. Again, waking up poor today it's a real letdown. I'm trying to find my little thing. Let me see. Look how cute this is, y'all. This is what I have for my paintbrushes. Here it is. I knew it was in there. I made that, and it says maybe swearing will help. And I don't know if it actually does, but I give it the good old college try. Hi, Bev. How are you, love? Okay, so this is just my little X-Acto knife dilly. Okay, now I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to just kind of pull on the edge here, okay? All the way around, and get that to pull out, and it just kind of frays it, okay? And then, oh, careful now. Okay, that just frays it on the edges, and then we can go over here, do the same thing, get this baby to fray. So it looks like it's not new. I know, isn't it cute? I got it from somewhere, and I thought, ooh, I need a chalk on that. And then they came out with that transfer that said, maybe chocolate will help, or maybe swearing will help. And I'm like, you know, if I'm crafting, I'm usually, there's a cuss word involved, because I'm not very good at it a lot of the time. So especially like sewing, painting, oh my gosh, y'all. I am not a gifted painter, which is why I love chalk, because I don't have to be a gifted at anything in order to use chalk products. Seriously, so great. All right, now I can get rid of all this little frayed stuff, okay? I also dropped the lid to that somewhere. So now, one more little thing that I want to do. I have my distressing ink here. Oh, I bet it's a nightmare out there in the retail world. Yeah, I've been run ragged, so we, you know, the end of the year is always a rough time, because you're trying to get everything accomplished right before the holidays hit, and everyone's going to be out. And so, like, this week has been really difficult, just because, like, just trying to do all the things that, not only for this week, but to cover some of next week, so that we don't have to have such a hard week next week. Okay, so I just used a little bit of distressing ink. I don't know if y'all can even tell on there, but I did, to just kind of beat that up a little bit. Now I want to see if, this is my power punch, okay? I want to see if I can punch a hole in this bad boy. I don't know if it will. But why not give it a try? Oh, snap. Y'all, it worked. So give that a try. Perfect little hole punch right there. Look at that. Perfect. That makes me really happy. All right. So that's cool. I didn't know if it was going to work or not, so that's fun. Okay, now we can start to put all this together. So here's the thing that I saw, okay? And again, I don't know. We're going to give it a try, okay? Now, gosh, I cut some of this jute, okay? I cut it real long because I wasn't sure how much I was going to need, okay? But this is very, very thin jute. And I just so happen to have these tiny little beads. I don't even know what size these are. These are itty bitty beads. But I had these and I got them. So I bought some beads on Amazon, just some plain wood ones like this, a while back. And it came with like, I wanted the 20 millimeter ones. It came with a bunch of different size beads. And I got it a long time ago. And I thought, what am I ever going to do with those? I have nothing I'm going to use those for. And here we are today. Okay, so, you know, sometimes things just happen for a reason that is not going to hit you until like 3 years later whenever you're a hoarder. And then you're like, oh, well, that's why God made me buy that. See, there was a reason that I clicked on that specific link or that specific product on Amazon. Now, I'm stringing these on here, okay? I don't know exactly how long I need this to be, but I'm just going to string a bunch of them on here. And the thought is, I think the lady that I saw that did this, I think she probably used a thinner string than this, but look, I don't have the same stuff as she does. So she did use these itty bitty beads though. So that we have going for with each other. Yeah, same, Joanne. And, you know, I, at work too, and it's like, oh my gosh. People are probably like, wow, she is not a lady. But, you know, don't make me rage and I won't have to rage. And crafts get me a lot of the time. I'm consistently, as y'all have seen, gluing stuff on upside down. Doing things wonky. Putting things on crooked. Gluing things before they're actually ready to be glued. It's a hazard of the job, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to blame it on myself, though. It's not my fault that I'm not good at crafts. But you know what? Chalkator's here to help. So if that's you, too, and you're in the same boat, now here we go. And this is going to look fabulous. I can see it. Okay, now, I'm not going to even tie a knot in this or anything. But here's what I'm going to do. I take this baby, and I'm going to glue the end of it right here. Okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm just using hot glue, nothing special here, okay? Right to that bottom of that, all right? Yeah, I'm always in too much of a hurry too. So I was talking to Barbara last night, Barbara Jaquith here, and I was on the phone with her, talking to her, and she said, I am a perfectionist. And I'm thinking like, I am not, okay? I'm like, this is frustrating me. Get it out of here. I want to be a perfectionist. I do. But then if I'm not good at it, I'm like not a perfectionist at all. That is going to be beautiful. Look how pretty that is so far. Okay, oops. I guess you need to see it from the front. Now, you could probably do more. Yeah. Let's cut this and we will add a little bit more. So my trick here is I just took the tip of my glue gun and just touched the end of my jute so that it kind of just helps it hold together. So that it makes it easy to string, because I don't have a bead stringer thing. I don't know. The people have those. I don't have one. Which, great. If you have one, perfect. Use it. I do not. I probably should buy one, but when I'm stringing beads, I always tell myself that. Buy yourself a bead stringer, lady. What's wrong with you? And then I don't order it. For some reason, I don't know why. All right. Get those on there. Now, I don't want them to be right next to each other. I'm going to space them out once I get this thing going. And I don't want to do the same thing for all three of them, okay? But I want it to be a similar in theme though, okay? So let's get this going. We have our little tag that we made too. And of course, you know, as my thing says, maybe swearing will help, but also if swearing doesn't help, oh my gosh, Joanne, we would be trouble. Hi, Alma. How are you, love? Welcome. We would be big trouble, Joanne. I'm sure if any of us hung out too much, we would all of our husbands would be jumping up and down and screaming, because every night would be a wine night instead of like dinner. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. But yeah, if swearing doesn't help, chocolate for sure. Chocolate's the answer then. Or whatever kind of sweets you like, or maybe it's savory, I don't know. So these are the carved trees. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah, or maybe wine will help. You don't know until you try. Okay? So these are the carved trees. They're in my shop. You can comment the word tree to get the link for these. And basically all I'm doing is stringing these beads on here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit. I don't want to be able to see this glue. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to not have a big dollop of glue right there. All right, so there's our first one. Look how pretty that is. Okay, and now you can add to this, right? So you don't have to just have one. You could do a second, and that's what she did, is she had a second one, and I think I would like to do the same. So I'm literally just basically copying my friend's project because it was so creative and so beautiful that why not, right? So, well, this jute is kind of thick and the holes on them are small. That's it. I didn't even do anything about it. Now you can move them around, like you can see I can move it. But I did not intend to have them like spaced in any kind of logical way. Okay, I kind of wanted it to be free, kind of free form, if that makes sense. And I think this is going to be beautiful. I'm really getting more and more excited about this project. I wasn't real sure if I have the skill set for this, but you know what? As discussed, I don't think you needed a skill set for this project. Okay? So anybody can do it. Just got to give it a try. Now I'm going to glue that right here. And if it kind of gets a little unspaced, then you can move it. Or you could add a little bit of glue underneath like one of these. So I think I might go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on one bead back here so that it holds it, okay? That way it's not going to move around. And then I'll do the same thing on this on the front, okay? Just one bead, spaced out a little bit, and then stick it right to the tree. Okay, just so that it'll hold it. Hi, Bobby Joe. How are you, love? Yes, absolutely. It would be so pretty. And you know, you could do like a, just imagine different colored Christmas lights. I'm going to do this bottom one too so that it doesn't fall. But you don't have to have glue, I don't think. It was staying pretty well. All right. I mean, seriously, look how pretty that is, okay? Now, that's my first one, and, you know, I'm thinking I don't even really want to do a whole heck of a lot to these, okay? But I don't want to do any more beads. I was thinking I could just do another piece of jute, and this one's kind of short enough for this, so I'm gonna attach that right on the bottom there. And then just up we go, okay? And you can make it spaced as much or as little as you want from the bottom. Just wrap it more, cut yourself a little bit longer piece of jute. I just had this one already cut from that other piece, so might as well use it, right? Isn't this so pretty? It's so simple. I mean, seriously, look how pretty that is. And I like non-traditional Christmas or holiday decorations, y'all. I'm loving this. Absolutely digging it, okay? So then this is my last one. I might as well grab myself another piece. But you could use, I've got some leather over here that would work nicely with this. I've got bigger, fatter jute that I could use. I've got all kinds of things, and I'm sure that your craft stash is probably just as wild as mine is, where you have random stuff that you bought for one project and haven't used all of the million pieces that came with it. Like the leather that I bought, literally for one thing. And I have used it multiple times since, but I bought it a long time ago for one project, and then it's been in my craft room ever since. And I use it on other random stuff constantly. Now, just going to stick that to the bottom, and boom. Super fun, right? It's so easy. I mean, seriously, and you don't even have to chalk on this. Now, I did pull out some, let me put these away before I end up with tiny beads all over the place. Okay. So I got out some different stuff, okay? I did make this little thing right here, so I do want to use this. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. Let me put these away before I accidentally try to use them. But You know, I forgot, I have these little picks, and these are just super simple to use. Instead of trying to make an arrangement. So, let's see, my wire cutters, and just trim this. I may not even use that. I'm probably just going to use this. The great thing about this is that I can use this little tag to cover the bottom of that. Or the, like, base of it. Somehow, hold on, I'm trying to figure out how I can make it work where it's gonna... be good. Okay, so I need one more piece of my jute, just a short piece, nothing crazy. And I want to attach this here. Now, you don't have to actually use jute or something to tie this on, but I figure instead of just gluing it on there, I could use a piece of jute, do a couple little double knots, and then I've got that. Okay, so now I need to figure out how I'm going to actually attach this here. And thinking I want to go at this base over here. So I'm just going to, now in my experience, I have to use quite a bit of glue to really get a good stick. So start with a little and work your way up if you need to. And the good thing about this is that I can use this little tag to cover up where I'm having to glue it on, okay? But I think that is pretty much perfect. Look how good that is. I mean, seriously, y'all, this is so easy. Comment the word tree. Get yourself the link. Check out all of, I mean, seriously. What a fun centerpiece. And so stinking easy. Seriously. And you can take them apart and store them. You can pull the dowels out. Store them flat. Isn't this great? Yeah, I'm loving it too. So make sure that you comment the word tree. Get your own. Try your hand at painting, literally just with chalk paste. Make yourself a little wood grain print there. And go to town. Do whatever you like, okay? You can also chalk directly on the trees, which is amazing. But I'm just loving this. All right, y'all? I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming to join me tonight. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon, okay?